The El Cajon City Council meeting. The meeting is called to order, and I'd like to ask our city clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Mitchell is absent. All others are present.
Silence your cell phones. Would you all stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a brief moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome back to the City Council meeting in 2023. The City Clerk has posted orders of adjournment of the December 13th, 2022 meeting and the agenda of the January 10th, 2023 meeting in accordance with state law, City Council and Housing Authority policy. I believe that we are not going to have our presentation today. Is that?
Mr. Mayor, that's correct. The owner of Teddy, the wellness dog, could not attend, and so we'll reschedule that for the next City Council meeting. If I may just take a moment at this time in its place to introduce the City Council to a new staff member. Chris Berg is here. He started with us yesterday. He's our new marketing and engagement manager. He'll be working out of the city manager's office. And his job primarily will help us tell our story of all of the good things that are going on in El Cajon. And he's available to answer any questions.
Chris, why don't you come up and say hi?
Extensive private sector background.
In the meantime, you may see Councilmember Kedrick up and down. He's had a back injury, and we tried to get him to take the day off, but the guy doesn't take days off. So he's going to stand and work through it. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So today is day 2 of first time in a government role. So prior to this, I've been leading a marketing agency and have always worked more on the horticulture side, but done both business to business and business to consumer marketing. And was looking to make a change and moved out to El Cajon just over a year ago and saw the ad pop up, and it just really fit perfect timing of me looking to do something that was more local community, and never thought it would be quite that pointed to actually working on my community. So it definitely spoke to me and came in, interviewed, and very happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. Council members, anybody want to say anything or ask any questions? I'm sure we'll all get a chance to sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk.
Absolutely.
Steve's a marketing, advertising executive as well, so I'm sure that you will have a lot to talk about. And
all right.
I hope that you settle in well and get to know each other soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. And that brings us to consent items. Consent items are routine matters enacted by one motion according to the recommendation listed below. With the concurrence of the City Council, a council member or person in attendance may request a discussion of a consent item at this time. Council members, do you wish to pull any of the consent items? Staff?
No, sir.
Angela, do we have any speaker cards for consent items?
We have no speaker cards, sir.
I'll make a motion then to approve the consent items.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Thank you. We're now at public comment. At this time, any person may address a matter within the jurisdiction of the City Council, Housing Authority, successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency that is not on the agenda. Comments relating to items on today's agenda are to be taken at the time the item is heard. State law prohibits discussion or action on items not on the agenda. However, City Council and Housing Authority members may briefly respond to statements or questions, and an item may be placed on a future agenda. Angela, do we have any speaker cards for public comment?
We have no speaker cards, sir.
Okay. Then there are no written communications on today's agenda, and we are now at public hearings. And actually, we are not going to continue with this public hearing. Am I correct?
That's correct. The applicant has requested a continuance to February 14th. So at this time, staff would advise the council to ask if there's anyone present that wants to speak to this item. And if there isn't, we can still open the public hearing and continue it to February 14th.
For the record, then, this is item 7. It's an appeal of a planning commission decision. And is there anybody in the audience that wanted to speak to this item today that cannot wait till the February 14th meeting? Okay. So we don't need to open the public comment. Yes, we do? Okay. I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there any speaker cards on this item?
No speaker cards, sir.
Make a motion to close the public hearing? Oh, we don't have to close public. Okay, thank you. Then I'll make a motion to continue to the February 14th meeting. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
And Mayor, we'll assume that means at the 3 o'clock meeting like it was tonight. Yes.
Noted. 3 o'clock meeting. All right, we have 2 administrative reports on today's agenda. Item 8 is a request for an all-way stop sign, and I'll ask staff to please tell us about this. Hi, Mario. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. This is a request for an all-way stop at the intersection of Graves Avenue and Lloyd Street / Rex Hall Street. And this request came in from residents that live adjacent to the intersection. Just to give you a little context, Graves Avenue is used kind of as a cut-through from, as people are going eastbound on Broadway. Instead of going to Ballantyne, they're going down to Graves Avenue. And so we got this request in by various residents that live in the vicinity of this intersection. And Graves Avenue at Lloyd Street is a kind of a skewed T intersection. And when we did our study, we counted about 2,000 vehicles traveling at this intersection each day. And we looked at the accident history, and there were 3 accidents within a 5-year period. And they're all attributed to unsafe speeding. So we go to the next slide. This is a kind of a picture if you're going southbound on Graves Avenue at Lloyd Street, and it's controlled by just a yield sign, and it's kind of a wide open intersection. You can see this kind of the skid marks there by people doing donuts and so forth, and not obeying by all the traffic rules. But here's another picture of Graves Avenue at Lloyd going westbound. And as you approach the intersection, it's very limited sight distance. So when we take a look at warrants for stop signs, we use a point system based on the California manual uniform control devices, and the City of San Diego does a point system as well. And we use that when we apply it to always stop intersections, or request for always stops. And this particular location didn't meet all the warrants, but their overwhelming sight distance issue and the fact that people are speeding through this intersection that we recorded, we are recommending that an always stop be installed. And this slide shows you what the yield conversion over to always stop. We'd have to do some pavement markings and striping and put in an always stop. With that concludes my presentation, and I'm open up to any questions.
Great. Thank you for the report. I appreciate that. Are there any questions?
Was this a request from the public? Is this where this originated?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Gary? No. Thanks, Mario. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Are there any speaker cards for this item?
No speaker cards.
Okay. Well, it's with us. It looks like a simple housekeeping, common sense kind of thing to do. I'm looking for a motion.
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
All right. The last administrative report, item 9, is a report on the El Cajon service request application, and I'll ask our staff to tell us about this, please. Hi.
Hi, good afternoon,
Welcome.
Honorable Mayor, council members. There we go. Yasmin Arellano, Public Works Director. Let me just set up real quick. Okay. Okay, so I'm here today to provide you with an update on the number of service requests received through the El Cajon app in 2022. Okay. El Cajon app is a service request management platform for mobile and devices and computers, and the app classifies the requests and issues into 18 categories. The slide displayed this slide displays screenshots of how the app looks on mobile devices. Once downloaded, the user selects requests and issues and then decides on one of 18 categories to initiate the report. These screenshots, they display how the system looks on a computer when accessed from the City of El Cajon website. The user first clicks on the I Want To tab, and then selects requests and issues, and then decides on one of 18 categories to initiate that report. So today we're highlighting the categories in the app that are managed by the Public Works Department, which are the sanitation debris, street light repair, street signs, street sweeping, street repairs, traffic signal repairs, vegetation overgrowth on city property, and water issues. The El Cajon app received, there we go. So we received last year a total of 11,498 requests. The app analytics reveal that over half of those requests were handled by the Public Works Department, with about 6,400 service requests. And then you can see the three main categories, which is Public Works Operations, Public Works Streets, and Public Works Traffic Management. This slide, we completed most of the issue types that were received were for the sanitation debris category, where we received 5,192 requests with an average resolution time of 1 day. And this shows the average resolution time for the different categories. And the app continues to gain popularity since we rolled it out in 2020. We will continue to track the completion times and the response times and the usage by our residents. I want to recognize Public Works Operations for their outstanding response times. Mike James, our Deputy Director of Public Works for Field Operations, he's here in the audience and available to answer any detailed questions council may have. Thank you.
Questions? Phil?
I have to imagine that we probably get requests from residents who aren't directly in the city limits, and their request is outside of the city limits. What happens with our process when you get a resident just outside of our city limits submitting an issue that's not within our jurisdiction, maybe in the county, but it still says El Cajon? What is that process?
So when it's right outside the city limits, well, the app has a geofence. So it won't allow you to submit requests if you're outside of city limits. However, in those particular cases where perhaps you're like adjoining the city limit, and it goes through the app, it's accepted, we evaluate it and we respond. So we had a similar scenario with a homeless encampment last week that was within a property that was actually outside the city limits, but the encampment was within the city limit.
Got it. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
More questions?
Oh, a comment to our new marketing director. This app, I think, is one of the big wins for the city that I think we could really tell a story to our citizens, not only with how great our public works and PD is doing an excellent job to show data, but also spread the word to more citizens to keep using the app. So that might be something you think about doing.
I've actually been a user of it, and I have to say, coming from San Diego out here last year, I could not believe the response time. It is amazing.
Comments?
Yeah, please.
Oh, comments. This is an incredibly great tool for the people of El Cajon. The design is fantastic. It's 4 touches and you're done. You don't even need to type in letters and words and misspell and stuff. It's 4 touches and a picture and you're good to go. The integration, I'm assuming that some of these things get routed different ways. Can you explain how a graffiti request gets routed versus an illegal encampment versus a street sign? How do the things get routed?
Right. So they get routed to different departments. For example, the graffiti request that's handled by a contract administered by our community development department, and that one goes straight to the contractor handling the graffiti requests.
And then what about illegal lodging? Does that go straight to PD?
So it taps, it's programmed to alert the different departments that are involved in handling the request. So, for example, an illegal lodging concern could go to simultaneously to PD as well as to Public Works.
Yeah, the coordination is fantastic between all the departments because it really is like a day. I've used this quite a bit last year. And it is really just one day. That the contractor that the city has chosen, Urban Core, is fantastic. We just don't see the mattresses and the recliners sitting out by the curb like we did 6 years ago or so. It's gone. And graffiti is gone in 1 to 3 days in my experience, which tells you don't put graffiti up because it's not going to be worth your time. It's going to be gone. And the vegetation overgrowth, is a great thing for fire prevention. It's just an incredibly good tool. The teamwork between the departments is a win for the people of El Cajon. So it's absolutely, within a day to say that stuff is resolved is unheard of in city government. My experience with a large city to our west, it took me over a year to hear about a stop sign, are you going to put the stop sign back or leave it without? And it took over a year for somebody to say, I've finally gotten to this. So the fact that our contractors and our public works and PD and fire address this quickly is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Steve. Anybody else? All right. I appreciate the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any comments on this?
No comments, sir.
Okay, then. Well, I guess the action would be just to receive the report, so I'll make a motion we do just that.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
All right. There are no commissioner reports on today's agenda. Item 10 is my activities report. I'd like to ask for the activity report of the other council members. Councilmember Goebel.
Mine's as reported.
Councilmember Ortiz.
As reported.
And Councilmember Kendrick.
As reported.
There are no joint council member reports, no general information items, and no first readings of ordinances on today's agenda. We have 4 second readings and adoptions of ordinances on today's agenda. Item 15 is an amendment to Title 17, and I'll ask the city clerk to read the title. But first, Angela, are there any speaker cards for this item?
We have no speaker cards. And the title of the ordinance reads, an ordinance approving zoning code amendment number 2022-002 for an amendment to Title 17 of the El Cajon Municipal Code for economic development, housing, and other minor technical changes, revisions, and edits.
All right, can I have a motion then?
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Excuse me. Item 16 is amendment to specific plan number 452, and I'll ask our city clerk to read the title. But first, Angela, are there any speaker cards for this item?
No cards. And the title is an ordinance amending specific plan number 452 to authorize an automobile dealership at 1155 Graves Avenue and the Regional Commercial RC General Plan Designation and the CR Regional Commercial Zone. Assessor parcel numbers 483-090-1500, 483-090-1600, 483-090-2400, 483-090-2500, 483-090-2600, 483-090-4200, and 483-090-4100.
Somebody like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Item 17 is for zone reclassification number 2021 through 0002, and I'll ask the city clerk to read the title. But first, Angela, are there any speaker cards for this item?
No card, sir. And the title reads, an ordinance rezoning property located on the west side of North Mollison Avenue between East Madison and East Park Avenues and addressed as 470 North Mollison from RM 2200 residential multifamily 2,200 square foot to OP office professional zone, APN 488-061-1700, pending general plan designation, office, non-retail, ONR.
Looking for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Mr. Mayor, on this next item, item 18, I have to disqualify myself since I live within 500 feet of the property, so I will exit the chamber.
Thank you, Steve. Item 18 is to approve specific plan number 2022 through 0004. And I'll ask the city clerk to read the title, but first, Angela, are there any speaker cards for this item?
No speaker cards. And the title reads, an ordinance repealing specific plan number 138 and approving specific plan number 2022-0004 for properties at the southwest corner of Greenfield Drive and East Main Street and the office professional OP and residential single-family 40,000 square foot RS40 zone, general plan designation, public institution, PI, and open space, OS zone. Assessors parcel number 507-200-5800 and 507-320-4800.
All right. Somebody like to make a motion on this?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by a yes vote of Councilmember Ortiz, Councilmember Kendrick, Mayor Wells. Councilmember Mitchell is absent, and Deputy Mayor Goebel disqualified.
All right. We'll wait for Mr. Goebel to come back. I'll tell him. All right, we're now at closed session. The city attorney will recite the title and lead us into the closed session.
Thank you, Mayor Wells. The City Council will be meeting in closed session for a conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of Government Code section 54956.9. Name of the case is Mike Kaufman Kauffman versus City of El Cajon. It is a series of workers' compensation cases, and the numbers are ADJ 13327811, ADJ 13327862, ADJ 13328425, and claims number ELCN-0047 and 20018087. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'll make a motion then to adjourn the closed session. Second. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Okay, we are back from closed session, and I will give it to the city attorney to report as to the happenings of closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council met in closed session regarding the closed session on existing litigation. As described previously, the council gave direction to its legal counsel in these items.
Thank you. This brings us to adjournment, the regular joint meeting of the El Cajon City Council, El Cajon Housing Authority successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency, held this 10th day of January 2023, is adjourned till Tuesday, January 24th, 2023 at 3 o'clock p.m. Thank you.